Hey, we are in a season of retrogrades. And if you're on my email list, I'm sure you already got the email about this. If you're not, just send me an email at andysway@yahoo.com and I'll get you on the email list. But what I did is I wrote about the various planets that are going retrograde right now and some ideas for sessions that you could do with me or whoever you work with in a healing capacity. Because when planets go retrograde, they appear to be going backwards from our point of view on Earth. Obviously, planets do not go backwards in reality. But it's kind of like like two trains in a station, right? Or two trains. Like the faster train makes the slower train make look like it's going backwards. Don't ask me to explain it anymore. I'm not good at that part of the deal, the scientific part. Anyway, Venus is retrograde for about another week or so. And Venus is about love, it's about self worth and what we value. And so, if you have issues, which most of us do, around love, lovability, self worth, those kinds of things, then you might want to do a session on that in the next week or so while Venus is still retrograde. Or, as soon as you can get to it. Because you have more of an opportunity to find the things that are causing the issue, the underlying causes. Okay, so anything around feeling more worthy, having more self-worth, clearing feelings of worthlessness, not good enough, all of that stuff, feeling worthy of love, clearing out the feelings of unworthiness of love, and abundance also. So Venus is the feminine principle of receiving, right? Basking in the glow. And a lot of us are not that comfortable with that. We don't feel like we deserve it. We feel like it's all about our effort, right? But Venus is more about unearned pleasure in my mind, right? It's just like you just get it because it's you, because you deserve it, because Jesus loves you, whatever, right? And it's not because you went out and fought against the world and did a great job and now you deserve it, right? That's not the Venus energy. Mercury's going retrograde until mid-September. Mercury retrograde is kind of like everybody knows about that. But the thing is, in a period like we have right now of ascension, of raising the frequency, Mercury retrograde is a good time for a mental reboot, right? What kind of things do you need to let go of in terms of beliefs, in terms of communication style, philosophies, right? I just see it as like we have these things in our brains that are like patterns running, programs running in the background that are using up our bandwidth and contributing nothing and disabling us in other areas, slowing us down in other areas of life. This is an opportunity until mid-September to just do kind of a flush. Like if I'm doing energy healing on somebody just for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a couple of ideas, of beliefs, of things that are past their prime communication style, and just work on erasing it right? Just rebooting the brain. It's a great time for a brain reboot. Saturn is going to be retrograde until the beginning of November. Saturn is about structure. It's about testing the structures in our lives to find the weak spots. It's like a stress test. Saturn's not about punishment. But if you imagine that, you have a balloon factory, and then you have the testing section where they blow up a bunch of balloons and see whether they pop or not, right? You're trying to find out, are there weaknesses? Is there something in the production line that's causing little pinprick holes in the balloons, so as soon as we start filling them up, they all pop, right? Okay. Now we know there's something wrong with our balloon making machines, right? And so the testing thing, it's not to just punish the bad balloons, right? It's to find out whether our balloon factory is producing good balloons, okay? In your life, there might be things that need restructuring because they're producing suboptimal results, okay? And it's the idea of, like, if you have good posture, your muscles don't have to work the whole time to hold your body up, because your skeletal structure holds your body up with the least resistance, right? If you go out of alignment, all your muscles have to come into work to hold you in position, right? Causing stress patterns, okay? There might be areas of your life right now that need to be removed because they're causing stress patterns, and there might be areas where it's just a realignment, a coming into good posture, so that everything can just drape off of you, right? It's about being objective, and sometimes objectivity feels harsh, feels like condemnation, but it's not. So we need to find out what is inauthentic in our lives, in the structure of our lives. Like, for example, do you set the alarm 2 hours before you need to wake up and then press snooze for 2 hours and then have a hard time waking up? Maybe you need to switch to one alarm and you jump out of bed. And maybe that feels harsh. Maybe that feels cruel, horrible, right? I don't want to do that. I hate that, right? But it's like, it's more efficient. You're going to get better sleep than those 2 hours of pressing snooze every 5 minutes. Okay? And you're going to have more energy for the day. And you're going to get yourself in that mode of just more effectiveness, less effort, right? And so think of the structures of your life and how they need to change, and how certain things are off and need to be brought into a new alignment. And that's something that you can work with somebody like me or whoever you work with to do that. You can do that through energy healing. You can do it just through talking things out. But just think of how there might be structures. They could be mental structures. They could be structures of habit. They could be all kinds of different structures. But just think of that. Now, Uranus is going retrograde until January 27th, 2024. Uranus, I always describe as like that picture of Albert Einstein with the crazy hair. It's like Albert Einstein just stuck his finger in the light socket. It's crazy genius. That's Uranus. It's the ruler of Aquarius and the 11th house. It's the planet of sudden and unexpected change. And it's the opposite of Saturn in a way. Saturn's more like the conservative, right? Uranus is the rebel. So one thing about Uranus is to say, and this does kind of relate to the Saturn stuff, where have you conformed inauthentically? Where has your conforming been a lie to your deepest, truest self, a lie to everybody around you? And if you are an Aquarius, hear me now. Conformity is death. Weirdness is salvation. Seek your weirdness, okay? Ground your weirdness. It doesn't have to be, completely sparks flying off of you, right? But Uranus retrograde is a good opportunity to find where your conformity has weakened your genius and to clear that conformist impulse, okay? That's what I would use it for. That's what I am using it for. Like I wrote in my newsletter, where have I unknowingly conformed to my own personal kryptonite? You can't conform to kryptonite. You just got to get rid of it. You got to get far away from it. Because otherwise the whole Superman stuff won't work, right? You can't negotiate with your kryptonite. And so let's explore the unique genius that only you possess and unleash it on the world. Give your gift. You have a gift. It might feel weird. It is weird because it is unique to you. Unique to you is automatically weird. So get over yourself, be weird, give your gift. It is weird, and be happy with that. Be thrilled. Be proud of it. Okay, Neptune. Neptune's going retrograde until December 6th. This gives us a connection to review our connection to the divine, to spirit. It's actually an opportunity for a big breakthrough into the unseen, non-physical realms. So, as with Mercury retrograde, you might need a mental reboot, a belief reboot. With Mercury, that was, did I say Mercury? With Neptune, you might need a cosmological reboot. We are spirit primarily, expressed through form. And then we forget that we're spirit. And then we start remembering that we're spirit. And then we have a mix. Like 10% of me knows I'm spirit, 90% of me is pretty caught in the matrix, right? And as we evolve, less and less is in the matrix, more and more is in spirit. Neptune retrograde is a time to make a quantum leap in terms of that mix. And so the main blasphemy of religion is the idea that you are God. Because religion doesn't want you to be God, because they don't get a percentage if you're God. Why would you give them money if you're God? Right? There's no percentage in that. The only thing that anybody can monetize with that, guilty, is, helping people clear the things that are blocking them seeing that, right? Doing the therapy, doing the work, doing the rewiring. Yeah, that takes work. And, it's good to hire a professional to help you with that. Certain people are good at certain things, and certain people are good at other things, right? And people that do spiritual healing, like me, are good at helping you remove those barriers to your own divinity, your own spirituality. And that's something that you could do now, is remove some of the religious programming and the guilt. Remove the fear of that blasphemy of the I am God. No, your ego is not God. That's not what I'm saying. Your body is not God. It might be a minuscule piece of it, if you want to look at it that way. What I'm saying is all is one is all, and you're that. You're just as much that as any other chunk of all. And so it's about minimizing the ego a little bit, opening up to spirit, opening up to the fact that you are this local representative of the divine doing this thing, and now you're remembering that, and that's a good thing. So there are certain kind of spiritual programming things that might be limiting you, like the idea that it's blasphemy for you to be able to access spirit, for you to be spirit. I would have to talk to you individually for your individual situation, but this Neptune retrograde, if you're in the mode where you're ready for a quantum leap spiritually, and some of these ideas are holding you back, some of these energies are keeping you from embodying that oneness, then this might be a good time for you to do this work. Okay, final one. Pluto is going retrograde until October 11th. This is the scorpionic planet of death and rebirth. Where do you need to give up all hope and just surrender? Where do you need to do that? And like I put in my newsletter here, the answer is anywhere there's a lack of authenticity in your life. So wherever there's a lack of authenticity, you grabbed on to something inauthentic to survive, as a survival mechanism. And that grasping onto that thing that is not real limits your ability to find what is real. Okay? Hope When you're hoping for something inauthentic, then you get really lost, right? When you have a fixation. And so the idea of Pluto, I like to summarize it this way. If it's not mine, I don't want it. Right? Ideally, I want what is mine. I want my ideal, authentic career. I want my real, authentic house, girlfriend, whatever, car. I want things to be authentic expressions of what I am. I don't want to buy a certain car to try to be cool. I want to buy a car that's the authentic expression of me. I don't know if such a car exists, whatever. Is my car authentic? I don't know. But it's like, I don't want to have something that obscures who I am or gives a false reading. I want it just to be me. So anything that you're holding on to that is inauthentic, I want you to imagine jumping off of that cliff, letting go of those things, and trusting in the ability of the death and rebirth cycle, which your cells are going through all the time, no biggie, right? But there are things in your life, and I don't know what they are for you. Give me a call. We can do a session. We'll figure it out. That it's going to take a lot of bravery, but in this moment with all of these retrograde planets, it's a time where you can pull back the curtain, take a fresh look at stuff, find out what doesn't belong there, get rid of it, right? And allow for a new energy to come forth. And so anyway, think of these planets all being in retrograde as that kind of opportunity. And if you'd like my help exploiting that opportunity, get in touch, andysway@yahoo.com. Check out my website, andysway.com. And thank you so much for watching and listening. And I know this was a really long one. Have a great day.